Government expansionists have recently passed a totally partisan bill. It's called the health care bill. I'm sure most of you are aware of that. Now, this is a bill to compel or to force U.S. citizens to buy a U.S. good or service. It's the first time in the history of this nation that the government has done that. It is totally unconstitutional.
Right.
We've asked our Attorney General in the state to stand up against this bill, and he refuses to do so. That's Bullock, by the way.
He ain't got the bullets.
No, that's right, he doesn't have the bullets. Now, I want you to know that this proposed health care bill is not about health care at all. That's just the rhetoric by which they were able to pass it for the public constipation. This bill, it's really about manipulation and control. What they want to do is they want to control you, they want to control your spouse, they want to control your children, they want to control your parents, they want to control what kind of health insurance you can buy, they want to control what kind of benefits you can receive, and they even have delusions of grandeur because they even want to control who lives and who dies. This is what's coming on the horizon for the American citizen.
This bill does not lower costs. It will raise our taxes, it will lower services, it will create lines, it will cause rationing. That is the truth. The president said he didn't know how he was going to pay for it. That too is a lie. He knows how he's going to try to pay for it. He is going to raise taxes, lower services, cause rationing. That's how he's going to pay for it.
And I'll tell you who we are. They don't know who we are, and they've underestimated the power of this grassroots movement. Because what we are is we are a volunteer army of peaceful revolutionaries. We're going to restore this republic. We're going to take back our country. Now, we got to be real. The hour is late. The odds are formidable. $13 trillion national debt, $100 trillion in unfunded liabilities. The mind can't even imagine these numbers. And yet we're going to be forced to pay for it, and our children and the little ones who are here today who are all $42,000 in debt at age 3.
Payoffs in land, Henry.
So this can't be maintained. It can break us. Now, will America be broken?
No!
Will we stand back and do nothing?
No!
Will the good Lord spare this country?
Yes!
We hope and pray that He will. And hey, if He was willing to spare Sodom and Gomorrah for 10 righteous men, we've got millions of righteous people across America today who are rallying.
It took us 200 years to rid ourselves of the yoke of oppression and to rid ourselves of slavery.
Our duty.
It took 10 months. And this is a warning for you. And it's a warning flag. It took 10 months for the liberals and Obama to restore the slavery for ourselves and our children. It's time to fight back.
Who thinks their taxes are too high? All right. Well, the day we should be celebrating is not today, but what happened 10 days ago, which was Tax Freedom Day. That's the day that the average Montanan, after working for the government, local, state, and federal, got to work for themselves. So on April 5th, we actually got a little bit out of bondage, but prior to that, we were owned lock, stock, and barrel by the feds, the locals, and the state government. So now we're working for ourselves. We've been working for ourselves for 10 days. I just wanted to go down a little list I got off the internet real quick of the many taxes that we pay. Most of these apply to us here in Montana. A few of them might not, but we'll just start off. We got Property tax, local, county, and state. We have gas tax, corporate tax, excise tax, cigarette tax, business equipment tax, commercial motor vehicle tax, tobacco tax, beer tax, pot tax, liquor tax, bed tax, luxury tax, mortgage recording tax, real estate transfer tax, estate tax or the death tax, capital gains, utility tax, telephone tax, 911 tax, commercial rent tax, bank corporate tax, vehicle tax, use tax, sales tax, unincorporated business tax, business income tax, personal income tax, alternative minimum income tax, natural resource extraction taxes, taxes on our airline tickets, gambling tax, grocery sheet tax, in some states big box taxes, Medicare tax, Social Security tax, and the coal tax. You think we're taxed enough? Well, what we have isn't a problem with not enough taxes. The problem is we have too much spending.
Yeah.
We've got a federal deficit of about 12 to 13 trillion dollars, and we have an unfunded liability with Medicare and Social Security that's approaching 65 trillion dollars, and we're passing that on to a future generation that can't pay it, and our jobs are going overseas. So it's a time that we make a change.
All right, so they're telling us we have to tighten our belts and pay more taxes so that they don't have to tighten their belts, and I'm telling you, don't buy it.
That's right.
They're getting plenty of our dollars, but they're shoveling them out into their special projects and into other things faster than we can send them in. You know, state government grew by 7% a year since 2004. That's over 40%. That's nearly time and a half. They're working overtime to put our kids in debt. You've cut your budget every one of those years so that you can send more money to Helena, and they're still spending it on. What did you cut? Did you cut your rent, your medical, your food bill? Did you put off a vacation, pay more in power bills? You did something. That money didn't fall from the sky, and they spent more of it, and it came from you. And it was more than enough to do what state government's supposed to do. If our government had stayed the same overall size, just grew at the same rate as inflation since 2004, they'd have given us back $2 billion by now. And instead of sitting on a deficit in 2011, we'd have nearly $400 million surplus, and that's after giving the $2 billion back. So I'm telling you, we don't have a revenue problem in this state. We have a spending problem.